So, hey, Gene, how are you?
Good.
We're down here at the scenic American Legion dock at Cedar Creek.
Cedar Creek.
It's a great location. Done a lot of fishing down here, but I had a few, one particular fan question to relay to you that I've been getting a lot. We all know about your history with Skinnerd, but you spent some time with the Stones too, and people have asked a few times about that. So,
Yeah, I spent a little time with them. I didn't spend years with them. Um, it was in '75. I was actually working down in Palatka. I can't remember if I was working on the two powerhouses or at at the paper mill. One of the two I was working down at iron working, and Ronnie called me up and told me to come over. I mean, called me up. He was in New York. Called me up, told me to go over to his daddy's house and speak with his daddy. He wanted me to call him back. So I went over to Lacey's and what's up? He said, Ronnie's going to call you here in a little while, and he wants you to. The Stones need a bodyguard, and he wants you to come up there and be a bodyguard for the Stones, and they want to make sure that you have a pistol with you. And he said if you don't have one, he told me to get you one and bring it with you. So we went down and got a 357 Magnum pistol, and Ronnie called and talked, and he said, I want you to come up here, and the Stones need a bodyguard, somebody that they can trust, and you're the man. So I flew up there and put that pistol in my luggage. Back then, it wasn't like it is nowadays. And I got up to New York and got in there, and Ronnie was there at the office, and I was talking. I said, what's up? Well, the Stones are having trouble. They can't go to any private parties or private things without being the party or the event is, what do you call it? People coming that is not supposed to be there. Unwanted people coming. And I said, well, I'll have to figure out what the hell's going on. And so took me about a day, maybe a day and a half, and I figured out that the problem that they were having was the two limo drivers. They were spilling all the beans and everything and telling come to find out, it was the Hells Angels that was aggravating them. I didn't know that right then, but it took me another day or so, and I found out. And so I went back to Ronnie. I said, these two limo drivers is the problem. And I said, tell them to fire those two guys, get rid of those two guys, get a couple more limo drivers, and their problem will be over. And so Ronnie says, well, it's, then the Hells Angels name came up. And I went, man, I said, I pointed to Ronnie, I said, you get me a ticket. I'm going to the airport right now, and you have me a ticket there when I get there. I'm not messing with the Hells Angels. Hey, man, I said, I ain't going to, hey, man, stuff. I said, either you get me a ticket when I get there, or I'll find some way to get back home. I said, I ain't messing with the Hells Angels, period. So he, come here, man. He took me in the office, and he pulled a drawer out, and he pulled a little black book out, and he went, and he found this number, and he dialed this number. And he says, he's here. Okay, we'll be waiting. And he hung the phone up. He says, Mario will be here in a little while to pick us up. We're going to eat dinner. He's taking us out to dinner. I said, who's Mario? President, East Coast chapter of the Hells Angels. As he's coming to pick us up, he said, Ronnie said, yeah, he's coming to pick us up. He wants to talk to you. All right. He wasn't riding no motorcycle. He pulled up on a big old long black limousine and sat in the back seat. So we got in and introduced himself, And he said, I want you to know that you just do your job and we won't have any problems. I said, well, you're not going to have a problem with me. I said, I'm not going to cause any problem. I don't want no problem with y'all. And I said, I'll go home right now if it's going to be a problem. I said, I don't want no problem with you people. I ain't got no problem with y'all. He said, no. He said, Ronnie's already told me about you and everything. He said, you just do your job and everything will be fine. So I did my job. Got rid of those 2 limo drivers. That was part of their action. And so everything was good. And we talked again. And he told me what it was all about, all the way back to the show in California where the person got killed and the president of the Hells Angels was put in jail, and they explained everything to me. And so bottom line, they felt like the Stones owed them, you know, not Gene owed them, but owed them something for what went down, and they straightened it out. And I didn't have any problem with anybody, you know, but when at a private party, he did say, as I was leaving, he said, we might try you out. And I went, he said, just do your job, buddy. So at one of the private parties, this guy shows up with a Levi jacket on, and Stones had 2 personal guys, arms that big on them, monster guys. Both of them named were Bobs. I call them both Big Bobs. And had a private party, and this guy shows up, walks up out of nowhere, jeans and the jean jacket, sleeves cut out of it, no colors, no names or nothing. And he's gonna walk right by me and go into that party. I said, oh, buddy, I said, this private party. He said, I'm going in. You can't stop me. I said, Bob, is he going in? And one of them Bobs, I can't think which one it was, caught him right by the jacket. Grabbed his microphone, by the jacket, picked him up, and just threw him about 5 feet. When he hit the ground, he just kept on walking. I went, damn, how strong are you? He said, I bench press 400 pounds. I said, wow, but anyway, so we didn't have any problem. The problem with the Angels was the Stones problem, and they all worked that out somehow or another, you know. So I didn't have any problem with them, and I certainly wasn't cause them guys no problems. And then I traveled with them for a while. We got to Jacksonville. They're playing the Gator Bowl, and I stayed home that night. And somebody broke into their rooms and stole all their shit. And so that next day they said, Odom, we want you to stay on the floor and guard our rooms, if you would. I said, sure, whatever my job is. So I spent the night there guarding the rooms. And the next day we were going to the next town, I forget what it was. And I ain't had no sleep. And I went, hey, I told Clayton, who was the road manager, I said, man, look here. I'm here, I'm home, I'm gonna stay home. I said, you can send, if I got any pay coming, send the pay to me. I said, what's up? I said, your people party all the time, you're up, you know, and I can't do that. I can't stay up 24/7. I said, I have to get some sleep, you know, and y'all can sleep when y'all are standing up or in the back of a limousine or on an airplane. I said, I have to do my job, and I said, I appreciate it. I said, see you later. And that was my trip with the Stones. They have invited me out a couple of times over the years, and I told them I wasn't able to do it at work anymore. And they'd buy me a room or a suite, and we talked for a little while, and they go their way and I go my way. But that's my Stone story.
Did you see any like crazy or just kind of memorable stuff during your time? Anything stick out?
With the Stones, New York, Madison Square Garden. There, one of my favorite shows when I get my legs up. The Stones stage was real high, and it had pedestals on it, like a flower that would come out. When the music started, it opened up, and the band started playing. And those things were about chest high. The stage about chest high, and Madison Square Garden. I was standing there, I had walked around the stage, I'd went under the stage, I'd come around, I was watching the front of the stage. Right there, right there was the orchestra pit. And I'm standing there looking, you know, back then I had 2 eyes, and I seen a guy jumping on the seats, hitting the seats, the back of the seats. I knew he was coming on stage, and I took myself and I pushed myself up far as I could have jumped, and my 2 shins hit the corner of that stage and just tore the bark off my shins, and he was right there. So instead of trying to stand up, I just used my hand and my knees and crawled over him and then grabbed him by his pants legs. I was going to use his pants legs to pull me up. But as soon as I grabbed his pants legs, he made his motions to jump out into the orchestra pit. And I had him by the legs. When he started to jump, he just went head first right into the orchestra pit. I went back, and the Stones came back on the stage. They didn't miss a lick. Backstage later, Ron Woods, I think, whichever one it was, said, "Man, Dad, you was kind of rough on that guy." I told him what happened. I said, "Look at my damn legs." I went, "Oh," and blood was just pouring down my legs. I said, but I didn't want to stand up. I just grabbed him by the legs, and my action was to use his pant legs to pull me up, to get balance, and then get him and take him off the stage. But he started to go forward at the same time. I grabbed him by the pants legs, and he just lost his weight, carried him over that. So they understood. They said, "Okay, no problem." We thought, you was kind of rough on him. I said, "He was rough on himself. What if he had a gun or a knife and I missed him, on stage?" They said, "No problem. We understand now." So there wasn't any problem with me doing my job. Skimp my legs up. Oh my God, man. But that's my Stone story.